Zoom call did not work out earlier, but I still wanted to give you guys a walkthrough of the system uninterrupted, so I'm hoping that this recording is going to work. Anyway, I'll just start from the beginning. Basically, when you log into your account, you're going to see your organization's name up here. You can insert your logo here. And then you're going to have all of your quick stats that you can view from your dashboard right here. And this toggles between all time that you've been on Pawlytics and your year to date. Right from the dashboard, you can see that we do custom applications, which you can embed right into your website, and then those applications that are completed will show up in your Pawlytics account, but we will get to that. So right from your dashboard, you can see the pets, the people, the applications, and the user modules. So we'll get started with the pets module. My account in particular has a very slow load time, but like I said earlier, it's because I have uploaded way too nice of photos and I did not compress them. So my load time is much, much longer than a typical account. I can actually show you a more average account by actually switching to my other test account. So if you're someone who volunteers with multiple organizations, if those organizations are using Pawlytics, you can actually just quickly switch in between those accounts. So now you'll see I'm in test 42. Here's their pets. It loaded much, much quicker, but I don't think their photos are as pretty, so I'm going to switch back over to mine. Here we are, back in pets. So like I said earlier, you are able to filter right off the bat between all pets that you've ever worked with, incoming pets, that's any pets that have been marked as pending as a status, the current pets that are in your care, as well as pets that have been adopted out, transferred, or are just no longer in your care, meaning that they could have died in care or were euthanized or any of the other outcomes. You can also sort by, I believe, the name, internal ID, adoption fee, estimated birth date, as well as the intake date. And then you can filter by a lot of different filters as well. So let's just go into adding a pet. You'll click add pet from that page, and then we'll say this is a test pet with internal ID. Something we are working on is actually generating the internal IDs for you guys so you don't have to keep track of where you were in the ID order. We will select a status. Let's say this pet is going to be coming in. They're going to have an adoption fee of maybe $70. And then when they do come in, you'll be able to select the location, whether they're in a shelter, a boarding facility, or a foster location. So let's just go ahead and save this pet. Our pet was created. Of course, if I wanted to add a photo or any of this other information, you are able to track the microchip brand, the microchip license number with the city, its rabies tag, and all the other additional information that gets ported over to petfinder.com, such as cats, if they're good with cats, dogs, kids, if they have special needs, if they have a relation to any other pets within your system, bite history, etc. You're also able to track intake and outcome. And so because I had already it's saved automatically as an other intake and healthy, and it saved today's date, but I can go in and edit this pretty easily. Oops, let's say I took this pet in middle of April. It was an owner surrender. He came in healthy, and let's say it came in from this person. We'll go ahead and hit save. This now has become a link to the person who did the surrender. So I'll click there, and it'll take me to this person's profile. Right now we don't have a tab for surrender history. We are working that in though. Right now you can view a person's adoption history if they're marked as an adopter in the outcome, as well as the foster history when they are tagged as a location of fostering that pet. And I will show you a good example of that. Let's say I went to, who has one? Holly has a location of a boarding facility. So as you can see, if you have pets in boarding facility, or if they're in the shelter, or if they have a foster, you can go through your list of people who are fosters. So let's give Cade Holly. And now we'll go over to Cade's profile, and there's Holly. So we'll just go back into your people index, and this is the list of people that have interacted with your rescue, whether that be they've adopted, they've fostered, volunteered, donated. These are people that have interacted with your rescue but don't need a login or a profile to access this account. So this is probably not going to be people on your leadership team or internal volunteers who need access to the platform. These are external people to your organization. You can search people. So let's say I want to look for the awesome guy. He is right there. And I can filter by the city and state that people are in as well. Oops, it's still, there we go. Alrighty, you can add a new person from here as well, just by adding in their basic information and hitting save. Now we'll move over into applications. So these are custom forms that you would embed into your website. When people fill out these forms, then you will see the new forms in your Pawlytics account right here. And then you'll also get an email that says the name of the person who applied, their email address, their phone number, and their home address. And so you can actually come in and search for them in here. This works for adoption applications, foster applications, volunteer, and surrender applications. And here is an example of how a form will look on your website. So we'll go to Good Home Pet Adoptions, who has an embedded adoption application. We will go to their adoption application and check this out. So here is an example of how the application is going to look on your website. It is mobile friendly. So if I were to drag it like this, you can see that it has become mobile friendly. And so once someone hits submit, then you guys within 15 minutes will get an email saying that you have a new application and whatever type of application, and then they will also get an email confirmation that they successfully submitted that form. Finally, here are the users who do have a login into your organization's account. So this is me, hello. This is my business partner, and so we both have access to this account. If I wanted to filter, I could filter by the roles that I've assigned people, or I can search for people as well. And then if I want to view another user's account, here's their information, and my role as an admin. I can also view an adoption history and foster history, so don't ever hesitate to give a foster an account because they can still be tracking their foster history and adoption history with the organization. How I edit my own personal information within this profile is I can go up here, I can go into my own user settings, and then I can change my password and edit everything from here. And now when you're talking about editing information for your organization's account, you're just going to go back to your dashboard by clicking this, our logo, and then you're going to click organization settings. All of this is editable, so if I wanted to edit anything, I would just click edit. This is important because later on we are building a rescue network, which means that people will be able to search for an organization near them and hopefully they'll be able to read about your mission statement. This would be internal to the other organizations using Pawlytics, primarily for the reason of transporting animals. Your pet setting is in here, so this is where you can add the vet clinics and the various vets within the clinic. So let's say we wanted to add a new clinic, and we'll call it Cali Pet Vet. And I'm going to create it. And I want to add Dr. Doc to it. And I will hit add. And now I have got the vet clinic and the doctor, which will appear when I'm adding a medical record for a pet. To set up your pet exports, you're again just going to be within pet settings, scroll down to the bottom, and you can turn on your Pet Finder account by putting in your FTP username from Pet Finder as well as your password. And here is the directions on how to get that information from Pet Finder. Then you would click Start Exporting, which would toggle this on, and we do 24-hour export to Pet Finder. So every night at about 11:59 p.m., we send the new information to them. So I think I didn't entirely walk through pets. I'll go back to each pet's individual profile. And let's say we wanted to look in a pet that we currently have. Let's check on, trying to think of one that I haven't used recently. Let's look at Twinkie here, who is pending to come into the rescue. Again, the load time is slow because I'm using extremely high quality photos that I did not compress, so it just takes a long time for it to load. Also, I should mention that these are dynamic, so as you're changing this information, let's say this dog was actually 30 pounds, it will auto update so you can see how it's going to be reflected in reporting. So I'm going to hit save. Again, you can track the intake and outcome information from here. Let's say that this dog is going to get adopted, so I'll probably want to change his status to adoptable. Let's say that he then showed up on Pet Finder. Some wonderful family had applied. I went through and approved their adoption application. Then I'm going to go in here. I'm going to add an outcome event. And let's say that person, because they had filled out an application, it created a person profile for them. So we're going to do an adoption of May 1st, which is today. And I already have that person because they filled out an application. And I will hit save, and boom, this adoption is completed, which will change the numbers that appear on your dashboard. And this will link to Wesley. You can look at his adoption history. And here's Twinkie. Type is where your e-contracts will start to show up when that feature is done. I don't know why it's named type currently, but this is where the adoption contract links will be. All right, I believe that is mostly, actually I haven't showed you guys medical records, so we'll go back and do that. We're getting through this. All right, so we covered intake and outcome. Now, if we were to go to diet, of course, you can enter in the diet that you're feeding these pets. We wanted to include diet just for the sake of adopters. So if they, didn't want to change their diet too quickly, again, it's up to you guys of how much information you want to include or don't want to include. I'm going to go into create a medical event. Let's say I brought him to the vet the day before his adoption. Of course, this is going to act up as I'm trying to demo it. Let's just refresh and fix this. Oftentimes, if something is not acting right, doing a quick refresh will fix the problem. Boom, just like that. Cali Pet Vet, Dr. Doc. And let's say we took him in just for a health check. Maybe that was, I don't know, $55. And we just wanted to do a basic exam. I'm going to hit save. Right now, these are going in reverse order, so it's appearing at the bottom. But we are putting up a fix tonight, actually, to reverse these orders. So most recent will always be at your top from now on. And then I can expand this file to see the actual events that happened. Or if I don't want to see it, then I just compress it back down and I can get an overview of what happened at that vet visit. I can add notes to a pet. So Twinkie is a good boy and gets along with all dogs close to his size. Again, this is great information that you want to send home to a doctor or for other volunteers who are going to be interacting with that animal for them to go in and check the system and see if there's any new information on this animal. Again, we are reversing the order of how these notes save, so most recent will always be at the top. And then lastly, with a pet, you can upload a document. So this could be maybe a contract if you're using paper still, or old medical records that you still want to have the documentation of, or maybe it's a rabies certificate that you want to attach to the pet. So I'm just going to go in, I'm going to upload a document that will upload and save. And then if I want to preview that, I just go in and click that and I can download it from here as well. And so I could download it here if I wanted to. This is a great way to store extra photos. Let's say you've got a neglect case coming in and you want to be able to put the cute adoptable photos that will send to Pet Finder here. You don't want the photos that are maybe going to look really sad and depressing that are going to be sent to Pet Finder. So a workaround for that right now before we add a gallery of extra photos is to upload it as a document. You can save photos as a document just to have them as a record in case you need to show that to Department of Ag or Animal Control or someone working on the case. So that is Pawlytics in a nutshell. We do have reporting coming. and then as well as a number of other features on our roadmap, so never hesitate to reach out. My contact information is right here. My business partner, who is also the tech lead, is right here. So if you are experiencing technical issues, feel free to reach out to either of us. If it is something very, very technical, I will probably CC Justin on the email. So it never hurts to send it to both of us just so we can catch it. Alrighty, let me know if you have any questions, and I'm looking forward to speaking with you guys more. Thank you.